be on with you.
Giants fans, this is Extra Innings with Bill Lasky.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
On your exclusive home of the San Francisco Giants. KNBR 104.5 FM and 680 AM. The sports leader.
All right, we are back here on Extra Innings. Kerry Crowley filling in for Bill Lasky here on Saturday afternoon. Always a pleasure to talk Giants baseball with you. Bill's got the day off. He will be back on Sunday. I'm filling in as the Giants win at 6-3 over the Colorado Rockies out at Oracle Park. The Giants feeling some pressure early in the series. They lose on Thursday night. Of course, Justin Verlander twirled the gem over 6 1/3 innings, gave up just 2 runs, but Tyler Rogers coughs up the lead in the 8th inning. A rare miscue from Rogers on the mound. He'd been so reliable all season long. So when the Giants lose on Thursday night to the worst team in baseball, it immediately puts pressure on the final 3 games of the series, and very specifically puts pressure on the starting pitchers for each of those 3 ball games. So Robbie Ray comes out and he dazzles on Friday night, performs about as well as you've seen in a Giants uniform. 7 innings of 2-hit ball, no runs for Robbie Ray on Friday evening as the Giants won 4-0. Jordan Hicks looked like he was going to carry over that momentum throughout his start on Saturday afternoon, but after 5 scoreless innings against this lowly Rockies lineup, he ends up getting into a bit of trouble in the 6th inning. A 1-0 lead evaporates for the Giants. Randy Rodriguez comes in, few inherited base runners, gives up a couple of hits. All the 3 runs the Rockies scored in the 6th were charged to Jordan Hicks, and the Giants fall behind 3-1, and all of a sudden, you're thinking out at Oracle Park, this can't possibly happen again, right? The 5-25 Colorado Rockies rolled into Oracle Park and won on Thursday night. They won their 6th game of the season. Could the Giants really lose another late lead on Saturday and potentially split this series, or even worse, set themselves up to lose this series on Sunday? Well, Matt Chapman had other plans for the San Francisco Giants. The rally started in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Immediately after this team went down 3-1, Luis Matos drew a leadoff walk in the 6th inning, and then the Giants went to work. Brett Wisely grounded out, but Mike Yastrzemski also drew a walk, forcing Bradley Blaylock, the starter for the Colorado Rockies, who had a really nice outing today, by the way, forced him out of the game. Colorado brought in really one of its best relievers in Jake Bird, who'd been so good so far this season. Just an ERA under 1. I think it was just 1 or 2 earned runs allowed on the year for Bird coming into today's ball game. Willie Adames comes to the plate with runners on 1st and 2nd and 1 out, and he works the 1-out walk, setting up Jung-Hoo Lee to come to the plate, and Lee delivers with the RBI single into center field, gets the Giants within 1, bases loaded for Matt Chapman, and what does the Giants third baseman do but hit a grand slam over the center field wall? A 3-1 deficit turns into a 6-3 lead there in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Giants will absolutely take it. They win today 6-3. The bullpen was lights out. Camilo Doval in the 7th inning outstanding. Eric Miller in the 8th inning a scoreless frame. And then Ryan Walker a 1-2-3 9th inning to pick up save number 6 of the season for Ryan Walker. So Giants take it 6-3. They're now 21-13 on the season. The Rockies, meanwhile, fall to 6-27 on the year. The Giants know that they've got to take advantage of every opportunity against this Rockies team because the rest of the National League West is oh so difficult to deal with. The Dodgers top the division, the Padres, who the Giants saw earlier this week, and the Diamondbacks figure to be intense competition all the way to the end of September in what could be a very compelling National League wildcard race loaded with National League West teams. It is one of, if not the toughest divisions in baseball, and the Giants holding their own so far. 8 games above 500, 34 games into the season. The opportunity now to win another series on Sunday afternoon against this Colorado Rockies team. So, I am Kerry Crowley in for Bill Lasky here on Extra Innings. We want to open up the phone lines. 415-808-KNBR is the number. Please do dial in. Want to get your thoughts on this Giants team. Anything that you're really excited about through the first month plus of this season. Anything that concerns you right now through the first month plus of the season. Your thoughts on Jordan Hicks today. Matt Chapman carrying the offense for the past 2 days. I'll tell you, Right off the bat, Matt Chapman, what you've seen over the last 2 days is an extremely welcome sign for this San Francisco Giants ball club. For Chapman to now have 7 home runs on the season, for the grand slam to come today, he's got that OPS back up to 773 with home runs in back-to-back ball games. The average still down at 205, but 3 hard-hit balls today. So that's balls with an exit velocity of at least 95 miles an hour. Very encouraging to see for Matt Chapman over the last few days as he's starting to get right at home. And the other component that I think is worth pointing out, Willy Adames got his OPS finally back up over 600 today by going 1 for 2 with 2 walks. Got on base 3 times, and that's the Adames that the Giants signed. If this team is going to make a deep run, if this team is going to live up to its full potential, the best players on the team are the ones who are going to have to carry the San Francisco Giants. And when I say best players, the guys who are making the most money and have shown the most through their major league careers in terms of talent, in terms of production. We've seen it with Adames. We've seen it with Chapman in the past. And Jung-Hoo Lee also making that kind of money. And also, through the first month plus of the season, performing above expectations for the San Francisco Giants. He gets the big RBI single today. 312 batting average now for Jung-Hoo Lee and 869 OPS. He's the centerpiece of this Giants order. The Giants need Jung-Hoo Lee to be a big contributor, and he was there in the 6th inning. Of course, Chapman, the big home run, the grand slam that put this team over the top. And so after a discouraging collapse on Thursday night, after the type of loss that you don't want to take against the worst team in the division, the Giants have shown some resilience. They've come back on Friday night, shutting out the Colorado Rockies behind Robbie Ray, and then they come back with their own come-from-behind win on Saturday afternoon against Colorado, getting into that Rockies bullpen and showing that this Giants team is one with the resilient characteristics, one that can show that when adversity stands in their way, it is not going to be a deterrent for this ball club. 11 multi-run comebacks for the Giants on the season so far, and that is something that this team will point to and really, really get excited about. So let's head out to the phone lines. Let's go to Horace in Monterey. Horace down in Monterey, you're on Extra Innings. How's it going this afternoon?
Couldn't be any better, buddy. Listening to the end of that game today was wonderful to hear the comeback. I was in Europe for the last month when the season started, so I had no clue what was going on until I one day went, wait a minute, they're playing baseball. And so I put in and started getting updates, and I couldn't have been smiling anymore watching what was going on with the Giants and coming back home now and seeing some good baseball being played. It's encouraging.
Yeah, tell me real quick, now that you've kind of tuned into the team and you're following along closely, what's impressed you the most about this start? What has caught your eye that's different about this season than you've seen over the last few years?
Well, come on, one word. It's called posy. It's called real. It's called real baseball again. Okay, and it's managing with a gut. It's guys knowing what their job is and not having to guess after one at bat if they're going to see any more playing time. There's just a whole different feel to the team, and I couldn't be more happy.
Well, there you have it. Yeah, I think you speak for a lot of Giants fans who are thrilled at what they've seen thus far, Horace, and appreciate the phone call. 415-808-KNBR is the number. Good stuff there, and I do think that the Buster Posey effect is, having an impact on this season. 21-13, the Giants are coming back. They're not deterred by these early deficits that they've faced. Obviously, that's not something you want to get yourself into. You don't want to be accustomed to coming from behind. You want to get out to some early leads. You want to do damage against opposing starters. But so far, the Giants have shown that this is a team that when faced with difficult circumstances, it's not going to back down. And I think we've seen over the last few seasons, the Giants get into a hole, they start swinging for the fences. This year, the Giants get into a hole, and their approach changes a little bit. It's just station to station, get one runner on base, see if you can do a little bit of damage, and then let guys go to work. And so I look at the 6th inning comeback today as a great example of how the Giants approach at the plate, specifically with hitting coach Pat Burrell, has changed a little bit. You've got Adames in that situation who's not trying to expand the strike zone. He's not trying to go outside of his comfort zone with runners on first and second and one out in the 6th inning. He ends up drawing the walk, shows a good eye on that very close pitch, and then Jung-Hoo Lee comes up, and all he needed to do was a base hit. He wasn't swinging for the fences. He wasn't trying to drive the ball to a gap. He just knew that if he went right back up the middle against Bird, the tough right-handed reliever, it would pay dividends for the San Francisco Giants. And then, with the Giants trailing 3-2, Matt Chapman comes to the plate. With the bases loaded and one out, I could tell that Chapman had shortened up a little bit. I don't think that that's your first thought when you see a ball hit over the fence, but that ball barely cleared the right center field wall, and we know that Matt Chapman has the ability to hit him, 418 feet like he did last night in the ball game against the Colorado Rockies, but I think that he was up against Bird, who's got some nasty stuff. There's some sink from the right side. He was up there looking to just get the ball in the air, drive the ball in the air as far as he could, and make sure that Mike Yastrzemski would be able to jog on home from third base. And so when he got a ball elevated in the strike zone, he knew his plan of attack was he was going to lift that ball in the air, and he was strong enough to punch it out over the center field wall. A very impressive piece of hitting for Matt Chapman, who I think has started to turn the corner over the last few days after a very, very difficult 2-game set in San Diego where he looked completely overmatched against Nick Pivetta and Michael King, the Padres right-handers, who were oh so good. Chapman has come back to Oracle Park and started to find his groove again, and that's why you see the OPS sitting at 773 right now after that grand slam that he had today. Also drew a walk in his 4 plate appearances. Let's go out to Theo in the East Bay. Theo in the East Bay, you're on Extra Innings. Theo, how's it going this afternoon?
Kerry, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I wanted to call in and talk about that grand slam.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I was listening to the radio. John Miller, man, hell of a call, man. And,
always does.
And I watched it, and it almost looked like it wasn't going to go out. And me being a typical Giants fan, I'm thinking it's going to be a fly out. But Matt Chapman, he made good contact with it, and that's his strength. I think if we can get a little bit of him showing off his strength, his bat will get going, and the team is, to me, it's relying on different guys on different days, and today it was Chapman. And also shout out to Matos.
Yeah,
Matos had himself a hell of a game too. So it's great to see these guys bounce back in the fashion that they did. And we'll roll out tomorrow and see what it looks like tomorrow. And again, shout out to John Miller, man. That was a great call. Cheers, boys.
Fantastic call. Thank you so much, Theo. John Miller just nails it in those big moments. He is so good. Guy gets back to the warning track, and John knows exactly what to do in that scenario. He builds the suspense. He delivers with the excitement. It is such a treat to listen to all of the Giants broadcast crew. I mean, you go through, you've got some incredible play-by-play voices in John Miller, in Dave Fleming, in Mike Kruka, or play-by-play voices, Dwayne Kuiper, Joe Rizzo as well. Then you've got your color commentators as well, and Javi and Hunter and Kruk and FP. Giants broadcast crew is really deep, and I've been so impressed by the drama that we've seen this season from the late comebacks. John Miller had the great call on Elliot Ramos' Little League home run last Sunday. Just some really fun times for the San Francisco Giants early on this season with the 21-13 start through 34 games. They're 8 games over 500, and this team has shown a lot of resilience. So, who do you give the most credit to through the first 34 games of the season? What's been most exciting to you? What's keeping you coming back and watching on an everyday basis, on an every night basis? Want to hear from you on the other side. 415-808-KNBR is the number. We got a few people on the phone lines. We will get to your phone calls as soon as we come back. It's Extra Innings. I'm Kerry Crowley in for Bill Lasky here on Saturday afternoon. You're listening KNBR 104.5 680, the sports leader.
Your financial journey is unique, and Pettinelli Financial Partners is here to help you navigate it with confidence. So whether you're building your future or securing your retirement, their team provides lifelong personal guidance every step of the way. Start planning your financial journey today. Learn more at PettinelliFP.com. The financial consultants at Pettinelli Financial Partners are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Stratus Wealth Partners, a registered investment advisor. Stratus Wealth Partners and Pettinelli Financial Partners are separate entities from LPL Financial.
This is KNBR Extra Innings with former Giants right-hander Bill Lasky.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
Hear him on your Apple HomePod by saying play KNBR. Play KNBR.
Chapman is flied out to right center and lined out to left into a double play. The pitch. Swing, and he hits a high drive into center field. Back is Doyle at the warning track. At the wall, he leaps. Goodbye! A grand slam! And the Giants have turned it into a big inning, courtesy of Matt Chapman's grand slam. Matt Chapman has electrified Oracle Park.
We are back here on Extra Innings Saturday afternoon. Kerry Crowley in for Bill Lasky. Wrapping up a 6-3 win for the San Francisco Giants. Matt Chapman with an incredible swing of the bat there in the bottom of the 6th inning, turning a 3-2 deficit into a 6-3 Giants lead. The grand slam, courtesy of the Giants' $151 million third baseman, living up to that contract today. The Giants were so thrilled to get him on the long-term deal way back in September. They've, of course, added that left side of the infield with the 7-year, $182 million contract for Willy Adames. And it will be Adames, Jung-Hoo Lee, and Matt Chapman, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in this Giants lineup, carrying this team this season. And so they stepped up today. They were all a part of that 6th-inning rally. Of course, Adames drawing a one-out walk, Lee getting the Giants on the board with that RBI single, and then Chapman stepping up, putting the team over the top with the big grand slam. 415-808-KNBR is the number we want to hear from you. Every Giants fan. We've got phone lines lighting up right now. Let's head out to Lance in Hercules. Lance in Hercules, you are on Extra Innings. Lance, what's going on this afternoon?
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate the time again.
Oh, thank you so much. What's on your mind?
I really enjoy your high IQ and knowledge of the game. So, yeah, last time we talked, it was like, I guess, sadder times, but everyone seems to have a lot of fun when your team's winning and rolling like the way the Giants are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to I'm not much of a statistician, but you have Matt Chapman, who hasn't even really found his stride, but he goes 1 for 4 today, and it has a big hit. So I start, calling him, texting my cousins, it's Mr. Clutch, someone that's just batting 200, 7 home runs, and he hadn't even found his stride yet. But then we kind of remember last season where Matt Chapman, he didn't get rolling until the second half. But you can definitely see it more. He's rolling already because he had his practice swings during spring training. So I know it's the late signing last year with him and Blake Snell. Glad we don't have Blake Snell, by the way. But anyhow, I'm really happy with the team as well. And then we haven't even seen Willy Adames get hot either. I take that back. He had a real nice hitting streak going, and he's only batting 200. So it's you have maybe half the team or a third of the team at least that haven't even found their stride in hitting, but it's just the presence and the leadership that you have under Buster Posey's regime.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you this, Lance. Last year, you make a really good point. May 10th, here's Matt Chapman's stat line on May 10th of 2024. A 205 batting average, which is the exact same average as he's got right now. But his on-base plus slugging percentage, his OPS, was just 586 on May 10th. Today, his OPS is 773. He's got 7 home runs through this point in the season. He's got 21 runs driven in. So you said it. He's coming up with guys on base in clutch situations, and he's delivering in those moments. There are situations where he's come up where there's no one on, no one out, and he's not able to come through for the San Francisco Giants. But today's one of those situations where the Giants have relied on him this season, and in the money spots, Matt Chapman's been money this year. Yeah,
it's very. One thing I want to mention is that, thank you to Mr. Buster Posey for taking a big participation in the team. Without him, we wouldn't have the Willy Adames signing and just the leadership behind it. And so I'm very appreciative of Verlander signing, Logan Webb. You have Adames and Chappie. So you have two leaderships at the post for both the hitting offense and the pitching. So that's pretty amazing. And I just want to I really appreciate that style of that Posey's regime has brought in. Just all the pieces were there, but just trying to figure out how to get everyone to buy in. So the pieces have been there, but I'm really happy with a healthy Lee and people getting on base and not putting all the pressure on Chappie to deliver. You didn't have to be that guy to deliver every time. You got a guy in and out of the line with some pop like Yas and Heliot Ramos and all those guys got some pop. But it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. Thank you so much for the call, Lance. I appreciate your thoughts, appreciate your perspective on this team right now. And I think you bring up a number of good points for the San Francisco Giants. Like, look, this team is 21-13, and it's been someone different each day. Mike Yastrzemski's had some really hot weeks. Jung-Hoo Lee, of course, was the Giants' best player in the middle of April. Wilmer Flores and Heliot Ramos carried them through the first week to 10 days of this season. Now, Matt Chapman, over the course of the last 2 days, has hit 2 home runs. He's come up big in big spots. That's been really important for this team. And to win games at home at Oracle Park, your pitching is going to have to be good. And over the last 14 innings, the Giants have given up just 3 runs. It was Robbie Ray throwing 7 innings of shutout ball on Friday night, followed by Hayden Birdsong, 2 innings to shut the door against the Colorado Rockies, hold them scoreless. And Jordan Hicks, look, he was great through the first 4 or 5 innings today. His stuff wasn't nearly as good for the 6th. I don't think he's the same pitcher after about 75, 80 pitches, but the Giants were able to go to the bullpen. Randy Rodriguez comes in, and it wasn't super clean for Randy Rodriguez. He did pick up 2 hits allowed, and that allowed the Rockies to take the lead, but he ultimately closes the door for Colorado. He ends up getting out of that inning without allowing more damage, and then the Giants come back in the bottom of the 6th. Camilo Doval, Eric Miller, Ryan Walker don't allow a hit over the final 3 innings. So you go 18 innings of ball, giving up just 3 runs. You're going to take that every single time. The Giants pitching staff has done its job. Let's go out to JT in Oakland. JT in Oakland, you're on Extra Innings. JT, how's it going this afternoon?
Hey, good. Good we won that series. That one pitch before the home run, man, that was a strike. So we got lucky on that one.
Okay.
Who walked before Chapman?
With Adames, I thought that was a dangerous pitch. The benefit for Adames is that the pitcher missed his location, and so you didn't hit the glove, and so that's why the Giants got that pitch called.
So I think our guy is Jung-Hoo Lee. I think he's our best player by far. I love Chapman, but Matt Chapman is a career 240 hitter, so you're not expecting big average out of him. But he's a timely hitter, and his defense, forget about it. I don't know if I've seen anyone better. I've been watching baseball for 60 years. I mean, he's incredible. So the other guys I worry about, your Baileys and your Lamont Wade. I'm kind of concerned about those guys. I think they're getting too far into the hole, and they don't seem to be figuring it out. I don't. Wade, I'm really surprised because he's such a patient hitter over the years, and he just really presses. So those guys got to pick it up, or we might be in trouble, later in the later months.
Yeah, and the issue, JT, for me, is that the Giants don't have much depth at either of those positions. You look at catcher, and it's like, do you throw Sam Huff out there a lot more? Is he going to give you much better production? Right now, he might. He might give you a little better production, but you're sacrificing something defensively if you throw Sam Huff out there at the catcher position. And then over at first base, the Giants just don't have a viable backup to Lamont Wade Jr. right now. David Villar's on the roster because Casey Schmidt is on the IL. I don't think either of those guys are everyday players. Gerard Encarnacion, he could be a first baseman when he comes back, but he's not going to give you anything defensively, and the Giants are pinning their hopes on someone who a year ago at this time was playing in the Mexican League, and that's just a big jump to hope that this guy can come into the middle of your order and be a huge difference maker for you. And so I think that depth could end up really hurting the Giants over at first base and catcher. I'm with you. Those are 2 positions to watch over the course of this season.
Absolutely. Maybe go after a first baseman. That might be a good move, Matt, I really like Wade. He's been a good Giant. Maybe he'll come out of it, Hopefully he will, but the patience is not there this year. It's just not there so far.
Yeah. Absolutely. I appreciate your phone call. Appreciate the perspective. Good stuff, JT. Let's go out to Brett in Walnut Creek. Brett in Walnut Creek, you're on Extra Innings. Brett, how's it going this afternoon?
Kerry, going real good. Here's something that I've seemed to notice this year that I really haven't seen in the Giants in some time, and I don't know if it's the Buster Posey effect, but I think it's their attitude. Because the reality is they played some good baseball, but they've also played some bad baseball, and I actually think their better baseball is ahead of them. I heard the previous caller mention Lamont Wade and Patrick Bailey. Patrick Bailey and Lamont Wade aren't going to be hitting $125. Okay, they're just not. They're going to get better. Fitzgerald is going to get better. The guy I've probably been most impressed with this year, aside from Jung-Hoo Lee, is Camilo Doval.
Okay,
I think he
interesting.
he might have got it a little bit. I just see a different attitude, a different confidence with him. the way he walks, and you know this, Kerry, as much as anybody, how you carry yourself, how you walk into the dugout, how you walk out of the dugout, how you return to the dugout means a lot, and people can see it. The fans can see it. The players can see it. And what I see this year about the team that I haven't seen is even when they fail, they're still walking tall. They're still walking tall. Even when they make a mistake, when Ryan Walker blew a save a couple of weeks ago that he shouldn't have done, you know, the other night when Rodriguez blew a save that he shouldn't have lost, they still walk tall. And that's what I think. Attitude. You know, when I used to coach, I told there's two things you can control: attitude and effort. Mm-hmm. Other than that, you got no control. And what I really like about the Giants this year is their attitude. Really excited. Does that mean we're going to win the division or going to make the playoffs? I don't know. But I like that we have the attitude, and that's why we come back.
Well, and I also think, Brett, you're making some great points. I also think that a lot of this was done on purpose with the roster structure in bringing in, say, a Justin Verlander to be your fifth starter. The Giants could have gone in so many different directions there, and obviously he's their number 2 starter in the rotation, but he's really counted on for 4th or 5th starter production. But 42 years old, future Cy Young, or 3-time Cy Young Award winner, future Hall of Famer, he helped set that attitude in keeping Mike Yastrzemski around, in bringing in Willie Adames. These are guys with positive track records in the clubhouse, and so you see through 34 games, the Giants have 11 comeback wins of at least 2 runs, the deficits that they've overcome. That speaks to everything you're talking about, the attitude, the fact that you realize it's a long game, it's a long season, it's a marathon, not a sprint. That is all reflected in the way that this team was built this offseason, in my opinion.
Yeah, without question. There was an interesting stat they posted today, which I wasn't aware of. But in the 6th inning, the Giants have scored more runs than any team in the league by far. I think they had 43, and second is 25. Wow. So that what tells me is like, you know what? The game's not over after 4 or 5. And you know what? When we come after you in 6 and we've scored 18 more runs than any other team in the league, that tells me we got an attitude that we're going to play.
Yeah, that's well said. And I also think if the Giants are scoring in the 6th inning, they've got the horses in the 7th, 8th, and 9th to shut the door as well. And that's what you've seen. You saw it today. Camilo Doval, your guy who, like you said, the attitude's been different. A 1.72 ERA reflects that. Eric Miller in the 8th inning, a .82 ERA. And Ryan Walker in the 9th inning, his ERA is pretty high, a couple of blow-ups, but he's bounced right back from those 2 blown saves, and he looks like someone who can get the job done at the end of games again.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's early, but, you know, on the same time, kids late early.
There you go. Well said. Well said, Brett. Thank you so much for the phone call. Good stuff. 415-808-KNBR is the number. I'm Kerry Crowley, filling in for Bill Lasky here on Extra Innings. We're taking your phone calls all afternoon here on KNBR. We're talking Giants baseball. Let's hit one more before the break here. Let's go out to Mike in Fremont. Mike in Fremont, you are on Extra Innings. Mike, what's going on this afternoon?
Oh, my goodness. It's so nice to watch good baseball once in a while. It's just so good to like, I can guess, and I'm probably going to be right about what the lineup's going to be like tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And I know, like, in terms, and I can foresee who the starters are going to be in Chicago. I don't have to worry about an opener because I don't think we've done an opener pitcher this whole year.
It's been the same 5 starters. Same 5 starters since opening day.
And it feels so good just to know that. And it's so refreshing also to have the front office not have their hands on the lineup card every day, where allowing Bob Melvin to coach, because he knows how to coach and manage and get the best out of everybody at the right time. You're seeing it. They let him go and let him do his thing. And here we are, 21-13.
Yeah, 34 games into the season, 8 games over 500. I'll be honest, there's a lot of things that I think kind of need to change over the course of this season. I'm worried a little bit about depth at certain positions, first base and catcher. I don't know that the Giants are set up optimally in the rotation because I'd like to get Hayden Birdsong there at some point. But bottom line, Mike, if you're 21-13, 34 games in, if you're 8 games over 500, anything that I have to complain about, it's champagne problems, you know?
Yeah, and, you know, the old saying is you're going to win 50, you're going to lose 50. What do you do with the other 62? And a game like today and all of the comebacks are what they're going to do in those 62 that's going to put them over the top and be one of those wild card, and if not, continue to challenge for the division even.
Yeah, I like that saying a lot. I think it's good perspective to have early in the season because, there are days where you get frustrated and you lose games and, you recognize, hey, maybe this was a game that the Giants lost after they had to travel across 2 time zones, like that game from Philadelphia to Anaheim where Logan Webb pitched and the offense didn't show up and they lose 2-0. But then there are days where you come back and you realize, hey, you're playing the Rockies, you need to win today, you fall behind in the 6th inning, and your guys step up. It's who's coming up in the 6th inning, but Adames and Lee and Chapman, the guys who the Giants paid to step up in those moments, they delivered in those big moments,
Exactly. Thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate the thoughts, Mike. 415-808-KNBR is the number. When we come back, I see Andrea, I see Daniel, I see a few others on the line. We will get to you on the other side. Kerry Crowley in for Bill Lasky here on Extra Innings. KNBR 104.5, 680, the sports leader.
KNBR Extra Innings with Bill Lasky keeps the postgame rolling live right here.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
On KNBR 104.5 FM and 680 AM. The sports leader.
1-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. 99-mile-an-hour fastball from Jordan Hicks. And he works around that 2-out error, ends up striking out 3 in the inning.
One of the 7 strikeouts for Giants starter Jordan Hicks this afternoon. He goes 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks. And, of course, those 7 punchies that we just mentioned. Takes the no decision. But the Giants win the ball game 6-3 over the Colorado Rockies. They've now won back-to-back games, 21-13 on the season. They can get back to 500 against National League West foes this week if they're able to take tomorrow's ball game. It's Logan Webb up against Herman Marquez, a battle of long-tenured right-handers in the National League West by their respective teams. I am Kerry Crowley, filling in for Bill Lasky here on Extra Innings on Saturday afternoon. Bill will be back with you tomorrow, wrapping up the series against the Rockies. But it's my pleasure, my privilege to talk Giants baseball with all of you. Phone lines are open right now. 415-808-KNBR is the number. Let's go out to Daniel in San Francisco. Daniel in San Francisco, you're on Extra Innings. Daniel, how's it going?
Oh, good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear. What's going on? What's on your mind?
Well, thanks. First-time caller. I was running errands all day, and I caught most of your show this morning and most of the game. And, something that occurred to me, I won't restate the impact of Buster Posey on the culture and the way the game is played, but I actually think we're understating the significance of the Adames signing.
Yeah.
I think that, Chappie and Logan Webb have their style of leadership, which is awesome. But I feel like, Adames and Lee have kind of a similar, their own unique style of leadership. And, I think Lee would have been a consummate professional last year, but I suspect deep down inside he would have been miserable with the style of play. And I just feel like Adames coming in with that positivity, that flair, and eating, his mom's Korean dinner, in the spring league. I just feel like that's almost like a double signing in a way, the impact from Posey. So
yeah.
Thank you.
I think that's really well said. Thank you so much for the phone call. And I'll say this. The average isn't good, 215. The on-base plus slugging, OPS, 602, not there yet. The defense is left a little bit to be desired. But in terms of watching these games, in terms of seeing the guy in the dugout who's passing out high fives, who's making everyone feel good about themselves. When the Giants win and it's a walk-off, who's the first guy out of the dugout? When the Giants have someone hit a home run, who's the first guy to celebrate with them? It's Willy Adames. These things at the end of the day matter. And he could have allowed his poor average, his struggles at the beginning of the season to get in the way and change this. He could be sullen on a day-to-day basis if he's not producing individually. Instead, he has not let his numbers get the best of him. He has been the same guy every day since the start of spring training, and I completely agree with our caller, Daniel, that he has helped level things up. Let's go out to Andrea in Berkeley. Andrea in Berkeley, you're on KNBR. Andrea, how are you?
I'm doing great, enjoying your show. How are you?
Oh, doing well on my end. What's on your mind?
Yeah, well, happy belated birthday to Matt Chapman. He's born April 28th, 1993, and it's just great. He talked about having mustache mojo. I think it was a post-game interview yesterday, and he said, I'm going to keep that mustache. I got some good mustache mojo going, and how right he was. Because
it's working for him. The mustache, 2 home runs, grand slam today. Giants fans aren't going to argue with that.
Right. Well, baseball players are superstitious and they're creatures of habit. So, Torres especially, he's very practical and persevering and enduring. He has this kind of determined quality about him, Kerry, that I've always admired about him. And I think it's great that he's reunited with Bob Melvin. That's nice. Yeah. And he just has this consistent energy. Like, he's very resourceful and industrious. So I have, a good vibe when, he's there. He always seems to get the job done one way or another.
Yeah. I think that's so well said, Andrea. Thank you for the call. It is his steadiness. That's what it is with Matt Chapman. It's the consistency. Every single day, you are getting the same guy. And some days, that's going to be a guy who strikes out because he's swinging hard and he's trying to do well for the team. And in baseball, you strike out. But every single day, you're also going to get a Gold Glove caliber third baseman. You're also going to get someone who the other team doesn't want to see up in the late innings. The other team doesn't want to see up with runners in scoring position because Matt Chapman, throughout his career, has been a model of consistency. He has been a steady figure. He helps lift the rest of this roster. And so even if the average isn't what Giants fans desire, even if the OPS could be a little higher at this juncture of the season, 773 still above league average right now for Chapman, who hit his 7th home run of the day and obviously had the big clutch grand slam to help beat the Rockies. I think that steadiness is very valuable in the Giants clubhouse, and it's one of the reasons that Buster Posey was so determined to see the Giants sign him long-term even before Posey took over as the president of baseball operations. Let's go out to Josh in Orlando. Josh in Orlando, you're on you're on KNBR. Josh, how's it going this afternoon?
Hey, Gary, good to hear your voice. And I just wanted to say that what they did in San Diego, they put no pressure on the pitcher, but what they did on the last 2 games is relax. In that second inning last night, they got people on base and they went for the sac fly and got 3 runs. Today, they put a lot of pressure on the opposing pitcher, and I think they're turning a corner from what they did in San Diego. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, look, San Diego had Nick Pivetta and Michael King going. Those are 2 of the best pitchers in the National League, 2 of the best pitchers the Giants have seen this season. I'd throw Hunter Green in there with the Cincinnati Reds. It is really difficult against those arms. Jeremiah Estrada was coming out of the bullpen. I thought that he was outstanding for the Padres. That's just a really tough team. And so the reality for the Giants is you're probably not going to win the games when Pivetta's pitching as well as he is and King's pitching as well as he is. So you have to beat the other teams in your division. You have to beat the Diamondbacks. You have to beat the Rockies. You have to take advantage of the Dodgers on days when they don't have a Yamamoto or a Snell or a Sasaki starting. And the Giants have done that the last 2 days. They didn't on Thursday night. That was a missed opportunity. But I think that they have shown that when they have the better pitcher on the mound, they can win that game. And it's why building up this rotation and bullpen was so important for the San Francisco Giants this offseason.
Yeah, the hitters stayed back and they didn't try to hit the ball out of the park per se. And what they did with bases loaded with Lee is that line drive up the middle.
Yeah.
He didn't try to go for defense. He just went straight up the middle. That's what they need.
Yeah, it was a brilliant piece of hitting from Jung-Hoo Lee. Thanks for the call. Appreciate your thoughts, Josh. Very good stuff, and I completely agree. The change in approach was obvious for the Giants in the 6th inning. It was shorten up, get on base, and do what you can in each situation. Even Matt Chapman, even his grand slam, all he was trying to do was hit the ball in the air deep enough to score Mike Yastrzemski and get the tying run home from third base. That wasn't a swing for the fences type of approach that you saw from Matt Chapman because that ball barely cleared the center field wall, and we know that he can hit the ball 420, 430, 440 when he gets everything into it. Instead, that was hey, let's lift the ball in the air. It's a day game at Oracle Park. Ball carried out on a different night. That ball probably dies at the warning track, but Chapman was the beneficiary of the 105 start today. Let's head out to Kobe. Kobe in the car. Kobe, how's it going this afternoon?
I'm good right now. Today I went to the Giants game with my dad, and I loved the Grand Slam.
Let's go. I love hearing that. Who's your favorite player, Kobe?
I don't really have a specific one, but
yeah,
I just like baseball.
We love it. We love it. So I would imagine that's a pretty special memory, watching Matt Chapman hit one over the center field fence.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go, Kobe. Thank you so much for the phone call. Appreciate your thoughts. And there you go. Building a young Giants fan there. Always love when we get the kids calling in. 415-808-KNBR is the number. We got Kitty on the Bay Bridge. Kitty on the Bay Bridge. Kitty, how are you this afternoon?
Hey, I'm great, but how do I follow and act like Kobe?
Pardon?
I said, how do I follow and act like Kobe?
Very tough to do so. Very tough to do. But if there's anyone I know who can do that, it's you, Kitty.
Yeah, well, hey, he was awesome. And, the whole day was great. It was exciting. I called about the Grand Slam because I'm right there with you. That, to me, was not going to be a Grand Slam.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it in my bones. And we were sitting right behind home plate. I went, nah, you can tell, right? I went, oh, my God, it's going out. And that was exciting, okay? And that's why I wanted to say, yay, Grand Slam. I love them. And the other thing I want to say, can you just say this to everybody? Would you stop doing the wave at Oracle Park?
Yes. Thank you, Kitty. Thank you. Say it one more time, loud and clear.
Do not do the wave at Oracle Park. That's so LA, and it used to be the A's, who are no longer the Oakland A's, but the A's. Hey, come on. No more wave at Oracle Park. I'm done. Love you guys. Have a great rest of the weekend.
Thank you so much, Kitty. Right there with you on the view of the Grand Slam. Didn't think the ball was going out off the bat. Also really didn't think Chapman was trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. It was just one of those classic situations where he got the exact pitch that he was looking for, was trying to do some damage by hitting the ball in the air, bring Mike Yastrzemski home from third base for the game-tying sacrifice fly, and it happened to be a day game at Oracle Park, happened to be sunny out, wind was blowing in the right direction, Matt Chapman the beneficiary. On top of that, I agree with Kitty. The wave... it's a Dodger Stadium thing. I think most people know that. It's sometimes a Coliseum thing. For 20-plus years, 2+ decades, not an Oracle Park thing, and it's found its way into Oracle Park over the last few weeks. I don't know if Dodger fans are infiltrating and setting the stage for later on this season, but it's not something that I've quite gotten used to watching these games, seeing the wave unfold in the stands. Let's go to Ben. Ben, who was at the game today. Ben, how are you this afternoon?
Hey, I'm doing great, especially coming off that Giants win against a division rival. I think it's a little ironic that Chapman had made that error so early on in the game, but later on he ended up hitting that grand slam. So hum baby to Matt Chapman, gotta love it. I just think that this Giants team is just set up so well, especially when, with the lineup. I think having Willie Adames bat and then Jung-Hoo Lee bat is just absolutely perfect, and I think it really showed today with all the situational hitting. So, Bob Melvin obviously knows what he's doing. I've got all the confidence in him, but I do agree with Kitty's analysis that I was just floored seeing the wave at Oracle Park. And now I know it was the bottom of the eighth. The Giants were winning. The wave is, give credit to Crazy George, of course, the inventor of the wave in the A's ballpark. But still, that's not something you do at Oracle Park in San Francisco.
Especially late innings, late and close situation, right? Like, that's a situation you can't have it happening. Maybe the Giants down 5-0 in the second. Okay, fans need something to entertain themselves. But this team up 6-3 in the eighth? Come on.
That would only make it worse if they were down. That would only put myself and everybody else in a bad mood. But not everyone. But hey, thankfully it was the opposite. Everyone was in a good mood. Just couldn't have gone better today. Weather cooperated pretty well. I thought the wind was maybe being used to our advantage because. That ball that Chapman hit, that honestly, like in a night game, that might die at the warning track.
Yeah.
So I just think that everything aligned today, and yeah, it was a good Giants win.
Yeah, well said. Thank you so much for the call. Appreciate your thoughts, Ben. Always appreciate the folks on their way home from the game checking in. I love when we get to hear from the likes of Kitty and Ben, where Giants fans go to the ballpark all the time because you get the perspective of people inside the stadium, how you're feeling in that given moment, what you see from your seat. So if you're on your way home from the game, we had Kobe, a young kid, call in, give us his thoughts on the Chapman Grand Slam. I always love stuff like that. It makes this so much more fun of a show. And I'll say, Bill's got a great job here on Extra Innings. He gets to talk to you every Saturday and Sunday. He pours his heart and soul into this thing. I'm just the caretaker this afternoon. Bill will be back with you tomorrow. It's always so fun. We've got at least another hour for you here on KNBR, so don't go anywhere. We've got more phone calls, more analysis of today's Giants win. Giants take it 6-3 over the Colorado Rockies. Good news for those of you who are getting in the car right now who want to talk some Giants baseball. Phone lines are open. 415-808-KNBR is the number. We've gone through a long list of callers so far, but we'd love to get you and hear your thoughts on the other side. You're listening to KNBR 104.5 680, the sports leader.
Your financial journey is unique, and Pettinelli Financial Partners is here to help you navigate it with confidence. So whether you're building your future or securing your retirement, their team provides lifelong personal guidance every step of the way. Start planning your financial journey today. Learn more at PettinelliFP.com. The financial consultants at Pettinelli Financial Partners are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Stratus Wealth Partners, a registered investment advisor. Stratus Wealth Partners and Pettinelli Financial Partners are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Bill is back.
Fired up, bringing it, all excited.
This is KNBR Extra Innings with Bill Lasky.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
Listen on your Google Home smart speaker by saying play KNBR.
We are back here on Extra Innings Saturday afternoon, turning into early evening here on the leader. Kerry Crowley filling in for Bill Lasky here on Saturday. Giants take it 6-3 over the Colorado Rockies, improved to 21-13 with back-to-back wins. The Rockies fall to 6-27 in the cellar in the National League West, and I would imagine that is where they will remain for the remainder of this 2025 season. The phone lines are wide open. I would love to hear from you. 415-808-KNBR is the number. We've had some tremendous calls so far. A lot of people on their way home from the ball game this afternoon. You guys have been so fun, keeping me entertained, keeping things loose, keeping things upbeat after Matt Chapman's game-winning grand slam, the go-ahead shot in the 6th inning. Giants relievers shut the door in the 7th, 8th, and 9th with Camilo Doval passing things on to Eric Miller, who, of course, set things up for Ryan Walker, the Giants closer, who picks up save number 6 on the season. Doval with 5 saves, Walker now with 6. Giants have Two strong arms at the back end of this bullpen who can close teams out. And tomorrow they'll send their ace, Logan Webb, to the hill, who's been great at home this season, looking to rebound after a rough outing against a National League West foe on Tuesday evening in San Diego. Webb faces this Colorado Rockies lineup with a chance to win this series, get back in the win column in his own right, and send the Giants off to Chicago for a big 3-game set against the Chicago Cubs with a happy flight. So, one of the things I wanted to do here on Saturday afternoon is take a quick look at the National League standings and ask you, do you believe that the Giants have what it takes to contend in the National League West and to keep pace with the Dodgers and Padres atop this division? Dodgers right now 22-10 entering this evening's ballgame against the Atlanta Braves. The San Diego Padres 20-11. They've played far fewer games than the San Francisco Giants, but they have been lights out at home, having a tougher time on the road. The Giants now 21-13 through 34 games. They're 8 over 500, far exceeding expectations that we had for this team back when spring training first began. The Arizona Diamondbacks, meanwhile, 17-15 in a big hole early in Philadelphia at Citizens Bank Park this evening. The Rockies are relevant right now at 6-27. It is going to take the Rockies a while to get to 50 wins this season. They may not do it. So, what do you gauge the San Francisco Giants' chances of making a meaningful run at right now? How do you look at this team and view them against their toughest opponents in the National League? I would love to hear from you. 415-808-KNBR is the number. Let's have to Russ in Santa Rosa. Russ in Santa Rosa, you're on Extra Innings. Russ, what's going on this afternoon?
Yeah, hey, got a solution for the wave issue.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I think telling people not to do the wave, that won't get across, especially to fans that aren't as knowledgeable or understanding of that history. We just need an anti-wave where as soon as people see the wave starting, everybody that knows better just stands up, and then the wave dies and goes nowhere.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you could see that happen. What about a message on the video board out at Oracle Park that says Dodger fans do the wave?
That might help too. That might help people understand why all of a sudden everybody just stood up.
Exactly. I think you get everyone working in tandem so that we understand this is not something that typically goes on in Oracle Park, and certainly not something that longtime Giants fans want to see at Oracle Park, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if everybody started booing or something, people won't understand what they're booing about, and it's kind of a negative reaction. But if it's just all of a sudden everybody just stands up that knows better, then there's no wave.
No, I like that idea. I think, hey, stand up. And also, you get into the game when you stand up. You get people on your feet and things happen. I think it's fun. I think the atmosphere could be fun when you're standing up and watching the game a little bit more. I remember 2021 NLDS. Yeah.
Positive reaction to the whole thing.
I remember early 2021 NLDS Game 1, Logan Webb was on the hill against the Dodgers. It was Giants' first taste of the playoffs since 2016, and fans were on their feet throughout the first few innings of that ball game. It was like nothing I'd seen in the 5 prior seasons at Oracle Park. It was a different feel, and there was an intensity about it. And obviously, you're not going to get that on, a random Saturday afternoon against the Colorado Rockies. But you get more people standing up, you get more intensity, you get more knowledgeable Giants fans with people locked in on the game,
Yeah, no, I think that'd be worth a shot.
There you go. Russ in Santa Rosa, he's got the solution. Thanks for the call, Russ. Appreciate your thoughts. 415-808-KNBR is the number. Let's go out to Bill in Livermore. Bill in Livermore, you're on Extra Innings. Bill, what's going on this afternoon?
Not a whole lot. We're listening to you and stuck in traffic here in Livermore, and got to listen to the game today. And 2 things. One is a really big thing. You got to get a lot of respect out to you guys, no matter what's changed in baseball since I was about 8 years old, and that would be about 1963. Followed the Giants since then. You could watch it on TV then too, but the one constant, that's really kept everybody connected, that you can always don't have to go to a pay channel to watch, is Giants baseball on the radio.
That's true. That's true. It's magical. I grew up listening to John Miller every night on the radio,
Yeah, I don't think you quite understand the impact of how you've kept people connected. Maybe, I hope you do, but I really wanted to let you know that without a doubt, no matter what's happening, you can, even if it's on your cell phone, you can, whatever it is on the radio, you can listen to the Giants.
Yeah, it's such a privilege, I'll tell you, Bill, to be a part of this station and to be a part of bringing people baseball on the radio, because I know those games that I listened to when I was a kid, they got me hooked on this sport. And I get the notes, we get the texts, we get the YouTube comments nowadays telling us how much people love listening to these games, love listening to these broadcasters. You've got Kruk and Kipe and Flem and John, who've all been here for 2-3 decades in San Francisco, bringing you these games on KNBR. It's so cool to think about. It's so cool to know how many people are out there every afternoon and evening tuning in, waiting to hear about their San Francisco Giants and getting it from the same, 3, 4, 5 broadcasters that have been doing it for so long,
I won't go on forever, but no, it's really a big thing. And now we can go on my phone after on the Giants channel, and we can watch, I can see the highlights, and you can see Matt Chapman today. And every day you get to watch the highlights, and you can hook into all the stats, which everybody did then. Also, baseball has always been about stats, about knowing who's playing and their averages and the home runs, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, I'll let you go. But you're a big radio is a big deal. And
thank you.
Anyway, I'll let you go now, but you take care.
No, thank you so much, Bill. Always appreciate your calls and anyone who chimes in, letting us know that they appreciate the sports leader on the weekends, because it's really fun. I say it every time I get on the air, and I know that Bill feels this way in the afternoons with Extra Innings. He just gets such a kick out of being able to talk Giants baseball with you. I know how much pride he took in wearing the orange and black. He'll be back here tomorrow to talk Giants baseball with you, and it is just really special to hear from different fans, understand how this game has been passed down from generation to generation. One thing that I tell people anytime they ask me about what working on the radio is like and what talking to Giants fans on the radio is like specifically, is that it runs in the blood. You hear people get on KNBR, as our last caller Bill just did, and he said, been a Giants fan since 1963, and a lot of people identified themselves by the year that they fell in love with the game. And there are so many folks who tell me, Giants fan since 1958, when the team moved west from New York. I went out to Seal Stadium. I was out at Candlestick Park in 1960, the first year that the Giants moved from Seal Stadium to Candlestick Park. I understood what it was like to watch bad Giants teams in the 1970s. I watched them get good again in the 1980s and make it to the World Series, the Bay Bridge Series. And then 1993, you're dealing with the potential sale of the team. Could the Giants move away to Tampa? It was almost disbelief. And then they signed Barry Bonds. Peter McGowan and the ownership group comes to San Francisco, and they ultimately build Oracle Park. And the magic that's happened down at China Basin over the last quarter century, obviously, it goes without saying. The 3 World Series titles have been so incredibly special to San Francisco sports fans, Bay Area sports fans, and Giants fans around the world. And so it's just such a cool thing to be a part of when you're talking Giants baseball with fans who've been at this for generations, who passed their love of the game down to their kids, down to their grandkids, and I know so many of you out there have done just that. So one of our favorite callers is on the line right now. He loves talking Giants baseball. Let's go out to Safe at Third. Safe at Third in San Francisco. You're on Extra Innings. Safe at Third, how are you this afternoon?
Man, I'm doing extremely, extremely well after today's win. Never gave up on them. This is a team that's not going to give up. This is what Buster Posey has installed in this team in their minds. Never give up. Go for everything you can get. He's doing what we thought he would do. It's his first year. It's going to be, some ups and downs, but he's proving to the owners, he's proven it to the fans that this is the type of baseball we want and we deserve. So, and we talk about generational baseball. I tell you, in '54, when they played the Indians, they said the Indians were going to murder the Giants. The Giants had no chance. 4 straight against great pitching out of Cleveland. It was unbelievable. I was like 7, and I was going nuts then because I love baseball. I was taught baseball. So I'm not saying this is going to happen now, but this is the type of team that was then. We don't have Willie Mays like we did then, but we got a team that hangs in there. And I'm going to say it again. A consistent lineup will get you more wins than not, and we're finding that to be true. A consistent lineup, and they're getting comfortable. Adames is starting to get comfortable, and it's going to be okay. After the All-Star break, I think we played, 35 games at this point?
34 games after today, yeah.
Yeah, so it's starting to show that this is what this lineup should be, and this is how we're going to win. And I'm proud of our pitchers. They hang in there, and they do their best, and we just got – but we still have to get behind Webb. That's our ace.
Gotta happen tomorrow. Tomorrow with Webb on the mound and Herman Marquez, the guy the Giants have seen, 50 times in his Rockies career. Giants have to be able to win tomorrow's game safe at third.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got. Let the fans have it. Let you have it. Great day.
There we go. Safe at third. Always love his phone calls. Always one of our most passionate Giants fans here on KNBR. Let's go out to Carlos in Berkeley. Carlos in Berkeley, you're on Extra Innings. Carlos, what's going on this afternoon?
Kerry, thank you for having me on. Hey, it's Buster Ball. I called you before, and I told you we got to start calling it because this is Buster Ball. But it really is more of just what a Giants baseball's always been, defense, pitching. And that's what makes it great. I think that caller earlier talking about the history, that is awesome. To know that the Giants been around that long. I got to tell you, I'm going to say Comcast because that's who I have. I accidentally took off my Giants station for the games on TV, and I've had to listen to everything on the radio. And I got to tell you, it's brought me back to radio because of it. I was going to call and get them switched back on, but you guys on the radio, it really is great. And everything you said about the announcers that we have, they are awesome. And I got to tell you, the other great thing is seeing we got some upcoming, JT Snow with FP together. Mm-hmm. That's a little magic right there, man. Those guys are great together.
Yeah, I think it's very cool. Anytime your players are invested, and Bill knows this better than anyone. Obviously, he pitched for the San Francisco Giants. Anytime your alumni is invested in the organization, and Buster Posey has helped deepen those connections with the organization, guys who wore the jersey, when they get back off of the field and they find a way to still contribute and still be a part of things, it just builds that lineage. It builds those connections, and it builds a really strong bridge to the fans. And I think that there's a lot to be said for that, and that's why having someone in Buster's position who played the game, that really matters for these Giants alumni who want to come back and want to be acknowledged when they come back and want to be a part of things,
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And I forgot we really need to give love to Bob Melvin. He's been awesome. It reminds me of Bochy, the way he's handled that pen. And it's just, we got great pitching going on. Knock on wood that we keep it up.
There you go. Carlos in Berkeley, appreciate the phone call. 415-808-KNBR is the number. Kerry Crowley hanging out with you on Extra Innings. Bill Lasky's got the day off, but he will be back tomorrow afternoon. Let's go out to Nathan in Merced. Nathan in Merced, you're on Extra Innings. Nathan, what's going on today?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Oh, doing great on my end. What's on your mind, Nathan?
Hey, man, first off, shout out to Merced, dude. 209.
I love it.
Hey, dude, nothing super technical. No super baseball stats or nothing. I just want to say it's fun to watch the game again, man. I grew up watching the Giants with my dad and my grandpa back in the day. And it just feels like it's fun. It's fun to watch the game again. And
Nathan, I think that maybe one of the reasons you feel that way is because this team plays a style of ball that's recognizable to you from your childhood. Watching winning teams of the Oracle Park era in San Francisco, those teams won with pitching, with defense, and with timely hitting. How did the Giants win today? With pitching, with defense, and with timely hitting. How did the Giants win yesterday? With pitching, with defense, with timely hitting. They've kind of gotten back to their Oracle Park roots early in this season, and I think there's a real sense among fans that matters for this team,
Yes, sir.
All right, Nathan, thank you so much for the phone call. Good stuff from the 209. Nathan down in Merced. 415-808-KNBR is the number. We got time for more calls on the other side. The phone lines are open right now. We will hear from you. Kerry Crowley in for Bill Lasky on Extra Innings here on Saturday afternoon. Turn it into the evening. When we come back, more of your phone calls, and we'll also take a peek at scores around Major League Baseball. You're listening to KNBR 104.5-680, the sports leader.
Georgie Brothers Furniture Showroom is a full-service home furnishing store located at 211 Baden Avenue in South San Francisco and has been in business for 92 years. It is one of the Bay Area's best-kept secrets. Still operated by the third-generation Georgie family, their goal is to offer expert and personal service as well as white-glove in-home delivery. Georgie Brothers also features a Simmons Beautyrest mattress gallery. Get a great night's sleep at an amazing price. Come visit our 50,000 square foot showroom, which is full of beautiful quality furniture pieces. You can also visit them at GIORGIBROS.com.
The game may be over, but we know you want to talk more ball. So KNBR Extra Innings with Bill Lasky continues.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
We are KNBR 104.5 and 6.8, the sports leader.
Kerry Crowley back here with you late Saturday afternoon. Giants win at 6-3 over the Colorado Rockies. Back-to-back wins for a ball club that's now 21-13. 8 games over 500. After the midweek skid, the Giants lost 3 in a row for the first time this season. They're back in the win column, and they did it on Saturday on the strength of Matt Chapman's go-ahead grand slam in the bottom half of the 6th inning, his 7th home run of the season. It turned right-hander Randy Rodriguez into the winner, and Ryan Walker got the save for your San Francisco Giants. Kerry Crowley in for Bill Lasky here on Saturday. Bill will be back with you on Sunday, wrapping up the series after Logan Webb takes on Herman Marquez tomorrow. But we still got time for some more phone calls. Let's head out to Stephen in Concord. Stephen in Concord, you're on KNBR. Stephen, how's it going this afternoon?
Real good, Kerry. Just want to say you're doing an excellent job there.
Oh, thank you so much. What's on your mind today?
Just a couple questions about the status of Marty Lurie and Bill Lasky and seeing what's their future there.
Well, you can hear Marty tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. I'll be talking with him at 10 a.m. He's got Talking Baseball. I'll be doing Giants warm-up at 10 a.m., and Bill will be back tomorrow afternoon with Extra Innings.
Okay, so Marty's just Saturday mornings now?
Sunday mornings. Sunday mornings, okay. Every Sunday, 9 a.m., about 4 hours before first pitch is when Talking Baseball gets underway.
So is it too much to ask why he's been cut back so far? Was that his choice or the station's choice or what?
I mean, I'm not going to discuss station decisions on the air, but that was Marty's choice. So I can tell you that.
Oh, good. Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Go Giants. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you so much for the phone call. 415-808-KNBR is the number. Radio's an interesting business. Imagine if I called, the local bakery and asked why the cashier wasn't working that day. 415-808-KNBR is the number. Would love to hear from you if you've got some thoughts on the San Francisco Giants. Let's run down a list of scores around Major League Baseball right now. Things that have happened here on Saturday afternoon. The Philadelphia Phillies hold a 7-2 advantage over the Arizona Diamondbacks right now, middle of the 7th inning. Max Kepler hit a home run in that one. And the Phillies taking it to the Arizona Diamondbacks, which means that the Giants could widen their lead for, I guess it's third place now in the National League West, as the Dodgers are in first, the Padres at 20-11, technically in second place. So the D-backs would fall to 17-16 today with a loss to the Phillies. Let's go out to Mike in San Francisco. Mike in San Francisco on the line. Mike, how's it going this afternoon?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Kerry?
Oh, doing great on my end. What's on your mind today?
I just want to talk about the Giants hitting. Was it I'm really happy with the game today, how it all went, and I got to listen to most of it on the radio while I was out today. They played really well. It's just it seems like when they play better teams with better pitching, our hitting just is not probably where it should be, and we have guys in positions in the batting order that if we had better hitters probably wouldn't be in those positions. And I'm really glad that we're being able to beat teams that we should be able to beat, which is giving us our winning record right now. But I'm just worried about Patrick Bailey and Lamont Wade and even Matt Chapman, who hit the grand slam today. The man's a beast out in the field and deserves all of the gold gloves and the praise that he gets. But up at the plate, I mean, he's not always consistent, I guess, would be. And Willie Adames, our big off-season acquisition, is not really – I don't know. I mean, he's starting to do better lately, but he was slumping for, 3.5, 4 weeks?
Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from, Mike, because I talked about this at length on the pregame show this morning. The Giants really need a lot more from Willie Adames, the shortstop position right now. He's got a .215 average, a .602 OPS, and yet when I looked back at last season, we all remember Matt Chapman for having such a great 2024. By the end of the season, it was a no-brainer to make sure that Chapman signed the 6-year, $151 million deal. Everyone wanted him back by the end of the season. But May 10th of 2024, Chapman was hitting .205 and the OPS was down at .586. He was off to a terrible start in a Giants uniform. He was awful the first month and a half as a member of this ball club. And from that point forward, he turned things around. And I think there's a real adjustment period, about 6 to 8 weeks for every major league player when you join a new team, when you're in a new city, and particularly after you sign a really big contract. You would love for those players to come and immediately make an impact and make sure that there are no question marks. Like Max Fried has done that in New York. He's won all 7 of his starts. The Yankees are happy that they paid him $218 million. But right now, I think it's a little too early to give up on Willie Adames. I think they need a lot more from him. The question marks that I really do agree with you on are Wade Jr. over at first base. I don't know if he's going to get it going. And Patrick Bailey behind the plate. Nothing suggests from his major league career that he's going to be even an average major league hitter at this point. So I think those are very legitimate question marks right now, you know?
Oh, I totally understand. And don't get me wrong, I love Willie Adames. Oh my God. The man's energy, the teammate he is. Last week when he went out to the mound with Matt Chapman and settled Camilo Duvall down, the man I'm so very, very happy that Buster got him to sign with us, and I'm not considerably worried about him, but it's the lack of consistent power that we have and a lack of consistent hitting that we have in positions that would typically be good for us. Like I said, first base. I mean, Lamont's playing great in the field, but whatever his on base has been the last couple of years, he can't seem to figure it out. And even Patrick Bailey has taken a step back this year. I mean, Tyler Fitzgerald was starting to come around, and then he got hurt. I mean, we don't really have, and then even our pitching. I mean, our starters are starting to come around, but I mean, they have one of the worst ERAs in baseball right now.
Yeah, I do think long-term the starters will be okay because Verlander's figured it out. Ray's been much better his last two starts. I also think that, at some point this season, Hayden Birdsong needs to be in the rotation. I don't know what happens, how you get him in the rotation. Maybe it's subbing him out for Landon Roop and sending Roop down to AAA Sacramento. But Hayden Birdsong's stuff is too good to be the seventh reliever in the bullpen right now, Mike. He's got to be in the rotation at some point.
Oh, I completely agree with you. Every time he's been out there pitching, I know it's only been 2 or 3 innings at a time, but yeah, he's been fantastic. And Landon Roop has been up and down with his, I think, 7 starts now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's... Oh, and one other thing, I just wanted to shout out Matt Williams. I'm on my way to a thing right now for... Matt Williams to go and do an autograph session with him right now down in Burlingame, and I'm so happy with the coaching staff that we have and the way that they've been able to get these guys to go from where we were defensively the last 2 and 3 years to where we are now. I'm just like, I'm blown away how well they've done, and I'm going to make sure that I tell Matt that tonight when I see him.
Very well said. Thank you so much for the call, Mike. Appreciate your thoughts. And just one more note on Matt Williams today. So Jung-Hoo Lee, bases loaded in the 6th inning. There's 1 out. He singles up the middle. And I thought for sure that with Mike Yastrzemski on second base, the Giants would tie the ball game on that swing of the bat. Matt Williams chose to hold Mike Yastrzemski at third base. And initially I was like, gosh, what's he doing here? Why is that? And then NBC Sports Bay Area zooms out, and they show the big picture, and I see that Yastrzemski actually had to hold off the bat because Lee's line drive could have hung up in the air long enough for Doyle, the rangy center fielder for the Colorado Rockies, to actually catch that ball. So Matt Williams made the right decision. There are some third base coaches in Major League Baseball, when your team is pressed for offense, when you understand how difficult it is to score, that would have, in that moment, sent Mike Yastrzemski, and I don't even think it would have been a 50-50 proposition at home plate. I think maybe 30% chance he scores, 70% chance he doesn't. Throw in from Doyle was pretty good. I think the play would have been relatively close, but he ultimately looks good because Matt Chapman, with 1 out, just needed to hit the ball in the air. And he did more than just that. He sailed one over the center field fence for a grand slam. Good hold from Matt Williams over at third base. He was conservative there when I thought that he could have been more aggressive, and he made the right call there. I agree with the praise that our last caller gave in making sure that Matt Williams received some credit for how the Giants have been performing. Let's go out to Big John in Livermore. Big John in Livermore, you're on KNBR. Big John, how's it going this afternoon?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Doing great on my end.
Awesome. I just wanted to drop in 2 things. I agree with you with giving Willie Adames some time. It does make, baseball is about adjustments, and he's in a little bit of a slump, but he's going to come out of it. The guy's a leader. I think he's great for the clubhouse. The leadership that he shows in the dugout, out in the field, and everything, I think he's going to come around. Just like you say, it takes some adjusting, and his defense is good. His bat will come around. Yeah. Another thing I wanted to say, what if we need to get, in my opinion, one more bat. Someone to cover first base. Maybe someone like Austin Riley. Try to get someone, pick him up from the Braves. I think the Braves might be letting him go.
I think the issue with Riley is he's got a long-term contract there in Atlanta. So he's already signed that long-term deal, and he's going to be staying there. I do think you're right, though. I think that the Giants ought to take a look at guys who could become available. And realistically, this team is one hitter away. And realistically, if you go down to AAA and look at this farm system right now, Big John, the Giants have pitchers that they could give away in deals and probably feel okay giving them away. Obviously, you want to protect Hayden Birdsong, keep him around. He is the top pitcher, in my opinion, who's still up and coming. He's obviously at the major league level and has been there since last year. Other teams would call and ask about him. But I think this team needs one more bat and will be able to potentially trade a pitcher at some point this season who another team might covet. So I like that call.
Yeah, if we can get one more big bat, I think it would put us in a good we can put together a good run, man. I've been watching Giants baseball since I was 9 years old. William Van Landingham, Marvin Bernard, all
love those late '90s players. There we go.
Yeah, Mark Gardner and all that stuff. So to watch them develop here at Oracle or Pacto Park, whatever you want to call it now. It's been great. Those runs that we had for the World Series, those were amazing runs. And, with Buster Posey at the helm, what he's putting together now with the program, he knows what it takes to win. He knows what kind of vibes need to be around the clubhouse, getting rid of all that computer stuff and keeping it in a little bit in clubhouse, but getting back to real baseball stuff, I think is important. And, like I said, we can get one more big bat, one more solid bat to protect the lineup, I think we'd be good.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for the call, Big John. I appreciate that thought. And just one more on that idea of getting one more bat into this Giants lineup. I think Buster Posey and Zach Manasseh may have missed an opportunity this offseason. They really wanted to add a veteran to this rotation. They ultimately chose Justin Verlander. I think that was the right move. I also think they should have added a veteran to the infielder. There were talks that the Giants may have been interested in Paul Goldschmidt, who, of course, was released by the St. Louis Cardinals this offseason, or wasn't going to be brought back by the St. Louis Cardinals this offseason, I think is the correct phrasing there. Goldschmidt, 37 years old, obviously has hit at Oracle Park in the past. He tormented Tim Lincecum back in the day. Right now, entering play today, Paul Goldschmidt, 361 average, 906 OPS. 3 home runs for the Yankees, including one last night over into the right field porch at Yankee Stadium that won them that ball game 3-0. Gosh. Had the Giants gone out and spent, $13-14 million on a one-year deal for Paul Goldschmidt, you'd be feeling a lot better about this team's outcome at this given moment in time. 415-808-KNBR is the number. Let's go to Paul in Fremont. Paul in Fremont, you're on Extra Innings. Paul, how's it going this afternoon?
I'm doing very well, Kerry. I miss your writing in the Mercury News. I do have Dieter Kurtenbach now, but I wanted to say I normally listen to the games on the radio, but today at lunchtime I was watching the game on television, and the thing that I noticed about Bailey and Wade was how slow their swings were.
Yeah.
Compared to other players on the team. Fitzgerald, I know he's out right now, but Yastrzemski and Ramos and Matos, their swings are much more direct and they're swifter. And I noticed the slowness in the swings of Bailey and Wade. And I know Wade has his legs back, but I really feel like they need a little bit of help with swinging ahead of the pitches rather than just waiting really late. And I also want to mention something else.
Yeah.
I live in Fremont. I'm only 30 minutes away from the San Jose Giants, and I try to go to one game a month. And I was there last Saturday, and I follow the Eugene Emeralds and the team back east as well.
Yeah, Richmond Flying Squirrels. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have to tell you, we have 3 fantastic prospects playing outfield in San Jose. It's unbelievable, these 3 players, and our third baseman, Darby, is unbelievable. We've got a good catcher down there, too. And last Saturday, I saw one of the most amazing plays where a right fielder caught a ball deep on the sideline of right field. Instead of throwing to the cutoff man with bases loaded, he threw all the way to home plate. Catcher caught it on one bounce. The player was coming in about 6 feet away.
Yeah.
And he put the tag on him and tumbled over, and it was out. And that was the end of the inning. And Gutierrez in right field, I don't know if he's hit a home run, but he has one powerful arm and is a speedster out there from sideline to middle of center field.
Yeah. Yeah, very well said. You know, you got me thinking, Paul. I pulled up the stats. Carlos Gutierrez this season playing right field for the San Jose Giants. He's hitting .292. He has 7 stolen bases. He's got 10 runs driven in. And the other players you mentioned, the left fielder and the center fielder, the other 2 best players on the team. Lisbel Diaz out in left field leading the team with 29 hits right now. He's got 7 stolen bases. And Dakota Jordan in center field. He was a 4th-round draft pick last year by the Giants. Highly touted athlete in the farm system. 27 hits, .293 average, and .809 OPS. The future could be bright. You look down at San Jose, and those outfielders, they're leading the team right now.
I'll tell you, Dakota Johnson or Dakota
Jordan,
Jordan, in that Saturday game last week, made one of the most incredible catches in center field I've ever seen. So we've got a good a set of prospects down there, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, watching really good pitchers and hitters, we have tradable items down the road for somebody to bring in San Francisco.
Yeah. The other player you mentioned, Xander Darby, I just want to throw this out there to Giants fans. He's a third baseman down at San Jose. He just started out there 6 games. A .350 average right now for the Giants already, a 1.130 OPS. So you're spot on, Paul. Everything you saw with the San Jose Giants, you were right about. This is exciting.
Yeah, well, I try to go to one game a month, and so I just wanted to call in. I listen to you all the time, and I really appreciate all of your analysis on the game of baseball.
Well, I appreciate you, and feel free. Anytime you go to the San Jose Giants, give me a call back and give us the status report. We'll always take it.
Oh, will do. Absolutely, will do. Okay?
All right. Fantastic stuff. Thank you so much, Paul. Appreciate that. Good stuff from all of our callers today. On the other side, I'm going to wrap things up for this afternoon show. A little monologue on the way that the Giants won today and what you can take away from a 6-3 victory over the Colorado Rockies as this Giants team showed some perseverance and resilience in the middle innings. Things kind of started to spiral out of control in the 6th inning as the Rockies took a 3-1 lead. Things got tense at Oracle Park, but the Giants rallied. Luis Matos set the table with a walk to begin the inning. Matt Chapman capped things off with the go-ahead grand slam. The Giants relievers shut the door. Camilo Doval in the 7th, Eric Miller in the 8th, and of course, Ryan Walker in the 9th. So when we come back, I will wrap up this afternoon show, get you set for Giants baseball. Tomorrow, we'll be back on the air pregame at 9 a.m. I'm Kerry Crowley, filling in for Bill Lasky here on Extra Innings. Bill will be back with you tomorrow afternoon as well to wrap up this series. You're listening to KNBR 104.5, 680, the Sports Leader.
Your financial journey is unique, and Pettinelli Financial Partners is here to help you navigate it with confidence. So whether you're building your future or securing your retirement, their team provides lifelong personal guidance every step of the way. Start planning your financial journey today. Learn more at PettinelliFP.com. The financial consultants at Pettinelli Financial Partners are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Stratus Wealth Partners, a registered investment advisor. Stratus Wealth Partners and Pettinelli Financial Partners are separate entities from LPL Financial.
listening to the former Giants righty. It's KNBR Extra Innings with Bill Lasky.
Sponsored by Lenardi's Markets of the Bay Area. Quite simply, the best.
Heard on your Apple HomePod by saying play KNBR.
We are back here on Extra Innings. Kerry Crowley wrapping up Saturday afternoon into the evening here as we get you set for a nice evening as the Giants win it 6-3 over the Colorado Rockies. I'm filling in for Bill Lasky here on Extra Innings, and always a pleasure to have the opportunity to take your phone calls, talk Giants baseball with you. I know how much energy and passion Bill puts into this show on every Saturday and every Sunday, so anytime I get the call, I know I absolutely have to bring it. It is always a privilege to talk with Giants fans. I've said this before. I even said it on the pregame show, Giants warm-up this morning. I really feel like this fan base is as knowledgeable as any in baseball, and it is really reflected in the questions that you all ask. It's reflected in the phone calls, and so I always appreciate the opportunity to interact with you here on KNBR. Such a privilege, and always fun to do it after a big Giants win as they earn their 11th comeback win of the season on Saturday afternoon with the 6-3 victory over the Colorado Rockies. So one thing that I wanted to do here is discuss kind of my favorite things that I saw, or let's phrase it this way, the most important things that I saw from the San Francisco Giants on Saturday afternoon against the Colorado Rockies in what really became a much more important game after the Giants lost on Thursday night to Colorado. When Justin Verlander threw the ball well, I thought that it was going to set the tone for this series. And Tyler Rogers, one of the most dependable relievers on this Giants team, he gives up the late lead against the Rockies, a team that hadn't won back-to-back games all season. And so the Rockies steal game one of this series. And you really never look at a baseball team stealing a game because everyone's a major leaguer. Everyone is capable of beating every other team. But the Rockies coming into that game on Thursday night were 5-25. This was as lousy of a team in Major League Baseball as there is. They are in all likelihood going to rival the Chicago White Sox of 2024 for one of the worst records in Major League Baseball history. It is a lineup that lacks punch. It is a pitching staff that lacks proven veteran know-how. And while there are certainly some great pitchers in that Colorado bullpen, I don't think that Bud Black has the pieces to routinely close the door. And so to see the Giants waste an opportunity for Justin Verlander on Thursday evening where he could have picked up win number 263, finally gotten one in the win column in a Giants uniform, I think put a lot of pressure on the Giants for the remainder of the series. It puts an added level of importance on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and makes you feel like these are must-win games. Because remember, the Giants didn't play their first National League West game of this 2025 season until Tuesday evening in San Diego against the Padres. This is a Giants team that was sitting on 19 wins already this year in the month of April by the time they even played their first division opponent. And they didn't look good in San Diego against the Padres. Nick Pivetta took care of them on Tuesday. Michael King, who I consider one of the most underrated pitchers in all of baseball, he carved up that lineup on Wednesday. And while the Giants fell behind early in each of those games, they clawed back. They weren't able to complete the comebacks. And so to see them give away Thursday night, I thought it really put a lot of pressure on the veteran players in this clubhouse, the veteran players in this lineup, and specifically on the veteran pitchers in this rotation. So to see Robbie Ray deliver on Friday night the way that he did was really important for this ball club. He goes 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs, absolutely shuts down the Colorado Rockies, and guarantees that if his lineup scratches across a few runs, which they did, the Giants are winning that ball game. And a bounce back in that fashion from Thursday to Friday, I thought was really pivotal. And it really set the stage for Jordan Hicks on Saturday. And Hicks threw the ball well in the early innings. And I talked about this earlier. I think that Hicks is someone who is going to probably be able to give you 4 to 5 solid innings, especially against a team like Colorado. But the second time through the order, that third time through the order, I don't know that he has the durability. I don't know that he has the polish quite yet to be better than league average after about 75, 80 pitches. And so on Saturday afternoon against the Colorado Rockies, you start to see Hicks fall apart in the 6th inning. And I thought for a moment that we were going to see the San Francisco Giants cough up another one, that we were going to see this team that really believes that it can compete for a wild card spot in the National League, that it can compete for a playoff berth, and belongs in the conversation among the best teams in baseball, give up a second game in 3 days to the Colorado Rockies because the lineup clearly didn't have it in the early going against Blaylock. And when Hicks fell behind and Randy Rodriguez comes in and gives up a few extra hits that put a dent in, the top of the 6th inning for Colorado, I was initially pretty nervous for the San Francisco Giants because this is not an offense that over the last 2 weeks has inspired much confidence. But I'll tell you what, I said this during Saturday's Giants warm-up, and I think it bears repeating now. The Giants will go as far as their best players take them. The Giants are not going to be a wild card team because of what a Casey Schmidt or a Brett Wisely or a Sam Huff does this year. And that's no disrespect to any of those players who will all play valuable roles on this team over the course of 162. It's no disrespect to a Spencer Bivens or a Lou Trevino in the bullpen. But the Giants' playoff hopes are contingent on this team getting the most out of its stars. And when I look at its stars, I think shortstop Willy Adames, 7 years, $182 million. I think center fielder Jung-Hoo Lee, 6 years, $113 million. And I look at third baseman Matt Chapman, 6 years, $151 million. There are 3 players on this roster with 9-figure contracts. And if any of those 3 players have a bad season, which, let's be honest, entering the weekend, Willy Adames not having a good season, then I think the Giants will be in trouble. But if those 3 players rise to the occasion, then I think the Giants can be a team that's a force to be reckoned with. Then I think the Giants can outperform expectations. Then I think the hot start that you saw for the first 3-4 weeks of the season, it can last deeper into the year as long as Adames picks it up and as long as Chapman picks it up. And so I go back to the 6th inning on Saturday afternoon. Giants fall behind 3-1. They've got their backs against the wall. And I look at this as kind of a make or break moment for this ball club. Not for the season, but for the series, certainly. And look, you split or you lose a series to Colorado Rockies, and all of a sudden, there are big picture questions about what your team's capable of. There are serious questions about, the structure of the roster. Do you need to make some changes? Do performance-based changes need to start taking place, even though we're just in the first week of May? So you go back to the bottom half of the 6th inning. And like I said, this team is not going to be successful or unsuccessful dependent on what the players on the bottom half of the roster do. But I thought it was noteworthy that Luis Matos, who came in today, hit an under 150 with an OPS under 500, had homered early in the ballgame off of Blaylock to give the Giants that 1-0 lead. I thought that when he stepped up and drew the walk to open up the 6th inning, it was a very good sign for this ball club. And then Brett Wisely grounds out, Mike Yastrzemski walks, and Bradley Blaylock comes out. Jake Bird, the hard-throwing right-hander, comes in. This, to me, was the pivotal moment of the ballgame because you've got Willy Adames, Jung-Hoo Lee, and Matt Chapman due up against really one of the best pitchers the Colorado Rockies have on their roster, a guy in Bird who've been pretty dominant this season coming into Saturday's ballgame. I think that he had allowed just a run or 2, and his ERA was under 1. This is someone who Bud Black clearly trusts. And he felt that with the Giants' best hitters coming up, the game was probably on the line. Like, realistically, you look at the bottom half of the Giants' batting order, and you see Lamont Wade Jr., you see Luis Matos and Patrick Bailey and Brett Wisely, and you don't see a group that's going to open up a big inning. But when you've got Adames and Lee and Chapman, you know that that's where the game is won and lost. And so Jake Bird comes in, and I thought that Willy Adames had a really nice at-bat. I thought that in a 3-2 count, Adames was pretty fortunate that the payoff pitch, was called a ball. I easily could have seen a different umpire ringing him up, and then we're talking about a completely different outcome for Saturday's ball game. But with the way Adames battled in that at-bat, I thought he put himself in a good situation. He showed a good eye early in the at-bat to convince the umpire that he had a really strong grasp of the strike zone. So he ultimately draws the walk. The Giants' third of the inning. 2 off of Blaylock, and then, of course, 1 off of Bird. That was critical because it sets up Jung-Hoo Lee with the bases loaded and 1 out. And so Adames did his job. Jung-Hoo Lee comes up. He's a contact machine. All this guy does is hit line drives. And while it has been kind of a rough week for Lee, if we're being honest, this has not been the caliber of play, the caliber of swings we've seen from Lee this week that we saw when he was one of the hottest hitters in baseball in the middle of April, when he went into Yankee Stadium, tore the New York Yankees and Carlos Rodon apart. But he just simplifies his approach, goes right back up the middle, drives in Matos with an RBI single. And the Giants weren't going to challenge Brenton Doyle. Mike Yastrzemski had a bad jump off of second base. He had to make sure that Jung-Hoo Lee's line drive was going to fall, and it did. So Lee does his job. Again, Adames, Lee, they do their jobs, and up comes Matt Chapman in perhaps the most pivotal at bat of the game. At the moment, we didn't know that. Obviously, it turns into that when Saturday's outcome goes final. But Chapman steps up, and against Bird, who's nasty. This guy's got sink and movement on his pitches from the right side. This is not an easy right-on-right matchup. All he's trying to do is hit the ball in the air. Chapman took a simplified approach. Instead of swinging for the fences, he just wants to get some loft on a ball. So he's looking for a pitch that he can drive out to center, out to right center, and guarantee that Mike Yastrzemski, who's very fast coming off third base, that he can score. And by taking that approach, by simplifying the approach, he ends up slamming the ball over the center field wall. Of course, the Giants helped a bit by the fact that it was a day game and helped a bit by the fact that Doyle didn't have a great read on it. Maybe, he makes a circus catch leaping over the wall. Probably wasn't going to happen regardless. And again, the Giants would have scored a run on that play anyway. But Chapman hits a grand slam, and you're looking at a game that the Giants are losing at the beginning of the inning 3-1. And the Giants are ultimately leading 6-3 at the end of that inning because their best players, with the game on the line in the most important inning with the Rockies' best reliever on the mound, they all stepped up and they all played pivotal roles in the outcome. Adames drew the walk. Lee simplified his approach, single up the middle. Chapman simplified his approach, and it turned into a home run. He was not swinging for the fences in that scenario, and he ends up getting his second home run in as many days, his 7th of the season, and helping lead the Giants to a very critical win. And then, I think another very important sign for this ball club. This is a team that I think, while it has shown some mettle and recording 11 comeback wins after Saturday's 6-3 win, that's what it's got now. There have also been times this season where I think that for as good as the Giants have been at the back end of the bullpen, there have been times where they've looked a little bit vulnerable. You go back to Thursday evening, and look, these Rockies hitters have seen Tyler Rogers. They know his delivery. They're not fooled by what they see. And so if he's ever so slightly off, I think the edge goes to divisional teams. You look at who Rogers' ERA is worse against in his career, and it's, the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Rockies. Compared to other teams, which he just dominates into oblivion, the National League West teams are where Rogers struggles. And so if he's ever so slightly off, it makes a difference. He was on Thursday. Colorado takes advantage, picks up win number 6. The Giants' bullpen had to be spotless in the late innings on Saturday afternoon. And Bob Melvin took no chances. After Jordan Hicks came out of that ball game, he goes to Randy Rodriguez. Obviously, Rodriguez does a really nice job. Even though he does allow the 2 hits, I think that he, was able to limit the damage. He inherited a difficult situation. Wasn't the best you've seen of Randy Rodriguez, but again, wasn't giving up the home run like he did as Xander Bogaerts back on Tuesday evening at Petco Park. And then, from that point forward, it's Doval, it's Eric Miller, and it's Ryan Walker. And the final 3 pitcher for the San Francisco Giants did not allow a hit. Eric Miller allowed a 2-out walk, but Doval, Miller, and Walker attacked the strike zone, which is exactly what you have to do against the Colorado Rockies. You look at the bottom half of that order, and it is a team that you can power through, you can mow through, you can feel confident attacking them as a pitcher because in all likelihood, they're not going to string together 3-4 hits in a row. Those situations are outliers for the Colorado Rockies. And so your worst enemy as a late-game reliever is a walk. And I thought that Doval in the 7th inning encountered a scenario where it could have turned for him. First batter of the inning, it's Adel Amador. And he steps up to the plate, and Doval, who is, timing is everything for the Giants right-hander. Amador steps out of the batter's box right as Doval is about to throw the first pitch of the inning. And it very easily could have rattled him. I've seen situations in Doval's career where it has rattled him. Instead, he gets right back on the mound, throws 100 miles an hour. In fact, I think the cutter hit 101 in the 7th inning on Saturday. And he sets down Amador on the ground ball over to first baseman Lamont Wade Jr., who had a really nice game defensively, by the way, I thought, on Saturday afternoon. I thought that was kind of an underrated component of the Giants' win is Wade and the Giants' right-handed relievers, who all had some tough outs in Rodriguez and Doval and Walker. They all fielded their position very well. So I look at Doval's 7th inning as a success. I look at Eric Miller's 8th inning as a success, pounding 98, 99 from the left side. It's very rare across Major League Baseball, and Eric Miller was able to do that. And then Ryan Walker comes back in the 9th inning, and we know that things have been shaky for Ryan Walker. And early in that inning, Mike Krukow pointed out on the TV broadcast, like Ryan Walker was throwing some lazy sliders. A better team might have reached base against him. But by the end of that inning, he'd settled in, he'd settled down, and he got the Giants out of it. 3 up, 3 down, and that's how they pulled off a very important 6-3 win over the Colorado Rockies. So I said it on Saturday morning, and it's worth repeating again. The San Francisco Giants will go as far as their best players take them. This is not a team that's going to win because of its depth. In fact, I'm not all that impressed with the depth on the 26 and the 40-man roster that Buster Posey and Zach Manassian have assembled. I am impressed with the star power. I think that that's what's different. That's the separator from Farhan Zaidi's teams to Buster Posey's team, is the Giants are better at the top end of the roster this year, and they were better in the middle and bottom halves of the roster during Farhan's tenure. And so this Giants team will go as far as Willie Adames, Jung-Hoo Lee, Matt Chapman, Logan Webb, Justin Verlander, and Robbie Ray will take them. It will go as far as a bullpen featuring Doval, Eric Miller, Tyler Rogers, and Ryan Walker in leverage situations will take them. And so far, through the first 34 games of the season, the Giants are 8 games over 500. It is about as good of a start as you could ask for. Considering the schedule the Giants have played, there have been some hiccups. There are certainly some flaws, and I've discussed them at length. I don't love the depth. I don't love this lineup at the moment. And I think there are some significant questions in the rotation as to whether the Giants have actually optimized their rotation to be as good as it can possibly be. But you can't argue with the results. If you had told me back during spring training, the Giants, 3 games into this series against the Colorado Rockies, we sit at 21-13 and competing at and around the top of the National League West, every Giants fan would have taken that. And that is an important perspective to have for this ball club. This is a Giants team that has overcome some adversity, that has found an identity, and that with 11 comeback wins has scratched and clawed and showed an important characteristic, which is resilience. In over 162 games, resilience can take you far. The earlier you set that tone in the season, the better off you will be as a ball club. I think the Giants found a way to benefit from that on Saturday afternoon. I am Kerry Crowley. A pleasure to fill in for Bill Lasky here on Saturday on Extra Innings. Bill always does such a fantastic job with this show. It is such a privilege when I have the opportunity to hang out post-game. I usually just talk pre-game with all of you and have the opportunity to hear from you. But to Bill, looking forward to getting you back on the air tomorrow, my friend. I know that these callers who you heard from, the texters who you heard from this afternoon, they want to hear Bill Lasky, and they want to hear him after the San Francisco Giants potentially wrap up this series on Sunday afternoon against the Colorado Rockies. So I want to thank our man Cole LaPelt on the board. Rafael Corral was around pregame helping us out, and everyone behind the glass at the KNBR studios. You are what make this show works. You, the listeners, 415-808-KNBR is the number. You make this so much fun. Thank you to everyone who contributed to today's show. Bill will be back on Extra Innings on Sunday. I'm Kerry Crowley. I'll be back with Giants pregame tomorrow morning for Giants Forum if you're listening to KNBR 104.5 680, the sports leader.